Welcome to Sketching Up, a two-episode week. Two
wars?
Yeah, yes. We have 2 episodes this week, but to be fair, we didn't have one last week, so it kind of balances out, right?
Yeah, why not?
By the way, I'm Chris. This is Matt. Good to see everybody. We are over 130 episodes into Sketching Up. Did you know that?
No, I had no idea.
I believe this episode 133. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure this is 133.
Oh, wow.
Start announcing it. Let's start announcing it beginning of episode. Welcome to episode 133. Sketching Up.
We're getting up there.
I wonder, this show's been around for 6 years. This is the 6th year. It started right before COVID in 2020. Like literally January 2020 was the first episode of Charlie Rosen. I wonder if we did the math with 133 episodes, how many episodes per year are we putting out? Because we had some gaps, just a couple gaps here and there between episodes sometimes. But with 133 episodes in 6 years, I do wonder what that math would be, because I'm not a mathematician or anything like that. But we have episode 133 here. Today, we are going to talk about a lot of different shows.
A lot of things
that have been dropping. We got new The Boys season 5, first 2 episodes dropped. Invincible season's almost over. Almost over. It is not quite over yet, and so much more. We're going to talk a little bit about all of that good stuff. We'll start with seeing how Matt's doing. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited. I've been itching to talk about these shows for a while now. I think I've made it very clear in our text messages and the scheduling of the episodes that we're going to do. And I've been dying to. And I know you haven't watched. I do want to talk a little bit of Daredevil. I'll bring you up to speed, and we'll just kind of
close my ears.
Yeah.
La 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 la.
And I'll give you a little taste, a little nibble, so it gets you to be like, all right, I need to watch this right now, because it's been amazing. And because like today, they dropped the Punisher movie trailer.
Oh, see, we just started. I don't even think I've seen the Punisher movie trailer.
Yeah.
Didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
To be fair, we talked about this a little bit off air, so I am always behind. That's nothing new.
Nothing new.
But I crushed it to get caught up for this episode.
He did crush it.
Crushed it to get caught up on this episode. And we really wanted to talk about The Boys, because The Boys is here, and I think we should wait until later in the episode to talk about that. First 2 episodes are out. It's the final season of The Boys.
Yep.
But we really wanted to talk Invincible for a while. I've been trying to get caught up on Invincible. I am caught all the way up on Invincible.
And Invincible this season has been awesome. Has been really literally good. Been so good. And we can totally get deep into that, because I think there are just some great episodes that we can definitely talk about. But like, let me just say, like, do your Daredevil part first,
because I haven't seen it, so you can kind of get your opinion out there.
We got the Punisher trailer, which, spoiler from last season, we know Punisher's been locked up. He's been taken by Kingpin's pretty much anti-vigilante squad. And so we really haven't seen him, and we haven't seen him yet in the second season. So it makes it, I guess they did a really good job of like, all right, we're going to show a little more Punisher, but not in the show. So it makes us all want more Punisher. The show so far is very good. It is very much a grounded story, which I think we talked about with Spider-Man and going into that, about the world doesn't need to end in these shows when it's dealing with specifically New York City. And it's doing a very good job of, this is a fully New York City problem that, we're seeing things transpire in this show that is affecting New York City, affecting the people in the city, and affecting the heroes and vigilantes in the series. And so it is a slow burn, and that's what I like about this show. Like, we're seeing things happen, and like I know I'm like itching, like, when is Daredevil going to win? When is Daredevil going to overcome Kingpin? And it's been such a slow burn that it doesn't look like he's winning whatsoever. Every move he makes is not a move forward. It's like he's staying stagnant. He's just trying to survive in this city that's against vigilantes. And it's doing a really good job of kind of bringing in what's happening in the real world where, Kingpin's using social media as this propaganda machine to get people on the side of, we don't need vigilantes in New York City. We need to get them out. And all at the same time, he's doing what Kingpin does best, is smuggling guns, taking people off the streets for no reason. He's doing all that. And the great divide right now is Matt Murdock, Daredevil, is really, he said it a couple episodes, there's still justice, there's still law, there's still all these things that he believes in as a lawyer, but it's definitely taking a toll on him, that he doesn't want to break the law. He doesn't want to go beyond what others would do, like a bullseye, where he's going to kill, and that's going to solve all the answers. No, he's still trying to, but you can see it's taking a toll on him because they're not moving forward. They're pretty much doing guerrilla tactics just to survive, just to try to help people, because it's a pretty much a authoritarian state in New York City right now. And it does excite me for Punisher and then for Spider-Man, because this New York City doesn't make it seem like any of these heroes can survive. Like, they can't do what they do best in this type of city. So it's been a lot of fun. I hope you get to watch it, Chris, because it is a lot of fun. But those are my 2 cents. And I think it's just been, the last episode that I just watched was amazing. And there were a lot of things, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, Chris, but there were a lot of things a lot of consequences in this episode that is going to shape what we're going to see moving forward in the MCU.
Well, I will tell you right now, you didn't spoil anything because I was reading something to make sure I'm up to speed on the rest of the stuff we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, I'll give you a minute. I tuned out completely for a couple minutes, and then I was waiting for you to finish up, and I was going to pop back in, and that's exactly what I did. So the people listening got to hear what you had to say about it, but me, not a thing was spoiled. I was zoned in on what I was just trying to make sure I have all the things from Invincible in the right order in my head.
Yeah.
Because I will say, between having read the comics a ton and watched the series again before this new season, now watching the new series and all the different flights and stuff I've taken while I've been watching it, I want to make sure I have it all in my head in the right order. So now I'm good to go. So you got your Daredevil out. So let's talk.
Yeah, I just word vomited Daredevil. Let's hear what you're thinking about Invincible.
So far, the new season of Invincible, I'm very much liking. One thing that they're definitely still doing is they're doing a better job of, I should say, is getting all the stories together. We've talked about in previous seasons, like they're rushing stories, or stories are drawn out too long. They've done a good job of condensing certain stories into certain episodes, and then the other ones dragging out how they have to drag it out.
Mm-hmm.
I just finished today the last episode, which was called, I want to get the name of it, You Look Horrible was the name of the episode.
Yep.
It was great. But this is following, what I've really liked about Invincible is, a lot of people like to say stick to the source material. They do a good job of sticking to the source material while also kind of, I don't want to say changing, but molding things differently so the story flows a little bit better. You could tell sometimes in the comic, like they would do something and you'd be like, that was cool, but like it doesn't really make sense, or
Right.
It doesn't feel right. Like now they can kind of, like, some stuff that was towards the end they put in the beginning, which we talked about a while ago when we were first talking about Invincible, right? We're like, well, this was cool in season 1, but it doesn't happen until book 96 or whatever, like it doesn't happen much later. But now it makes sense, like put that there because it's going to pay off 3 seasons down the road. Almost how, like, one of my favorite shows, Arrested Development, will talk something about how you lost your left hand, and in season 3 Buster loses his left hand. It's like, it's funny, but like, yes, that pays off way down the line. This is kind of what they're doing. They're taking stuff that is source material and they're changing the locations of it to really make it like pay off better later on. And
Mhm.
something they've really done kind of in the whole series, but definitely they're showing in the last couple seasons going into this season, is they're not afraid to like show something and then just not come back to it until it's time.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff that's paying off now, like happened in season 2, happened at the end of season 3, or the beginning of season 3, or whatever. Like it could be a whole 2 seasons ago stuff was happening, and now it's paying off now. So I very much enjoyed that. The stories have kind of jumped a little bit, but
Yeah.
like I said, I kind of liked how each episode's more contained than what's
For
been
sure.
going
And
on.
I think I agree with you. I think they Invincible is a huge story in from the comic books. It's a huge
Yes.
story, it's a huge world, and taking characters and using them in a way that's more digestible for TV is definitely difficult, and they were trying to find how to do that, I feel like, through this show. And there is an element of what I kind of see is like some certain characters, like you were saying, like them going to them, not going to them, not finding the right way to show their story. It reminds me of like how DC has done in the past, like Superboy Prime. They don't know where to put him in. And now DC did a really good job of grounding the character and putting him back into the fold of the new stories that are coming out. And I think that's what Invincible did really well with a lot of the stories, especially with Mark. I think Mark has so many angles from the comic books that they were struggling to figure out which way to push him and pull him. And now it seems like they've rounded Mark out. They've rounded him out as the character that he is. And now things from the first and second season are paying off right now
Right now.
of
Yeah.
what we've seen, what we're seeing in Mark's pretty much timeline of his growth throughout this story. I think one of my favorite episodes so far is, I think that it was the second episode where they tell you the history of the Viltrumites.
Mm-hmm.
And that, from remembering it from the comics and to what they put on screen, was really good. I really, really loved learning again, relearning what happened to the Viltrumite Empire and how all this makes sense of what they're doing now.
And that's been a slow build as well. Like we've seen pieces of it
Yep.
as it goes, and it's been a really, like I said, it's the timing has just been really good, right? Like when it needs to pay off, that's when they're paying it off. When they need to tell you this part of the story, that's when they tell you this part of the story,
Yeah.
which has been really good. Even somebody that's read the comics can like enjoy the story that they've already kind of known as it goes. So
Exactly. Yeah. I think what they've done with Nolan's character, I think watching this show, because I did a recap of Invincible. I know I sent you a recap of The Boys so we could watch it so
yeah,
we can know. But I
yes, and
also
thank
did,
you for that too.
yeah, I also did like a recap of Invincible, but it was like an hour long. I knew I couldn't send that to you, and it was like the the person on YouTube talked about the comic and the show and pieced together the storylines and everything for me.
I've done those for Invincible
Yeah, so I
basically every
wanted to do
season.
that. And I think after coming out of that, and then as I watched this whole season, I want to say probably my favorite character is Nolan. I think Nolan is such a good, deep character of like this guy who went to Earth, had a kid. Now we know why they were really going to Earth and going to planets and trying to rebuild the Viltrum Empire. And then him, it all coming crashing down on him and going to another planet, having another child. And then now everything has boiled. And again, it brings back what we've learned in the past seasons of what he went through. And now everything's coming to a head. I think one of the best scenes was him with the superhero suit maker, and they
Yeah,
sat on the roof, and when he
yeah.
left, he like let out his breath because he was so terrified in what he's done to the people of Earth that I don't think he could ever fix. Like he can't fix that.
No,
And
and that's been great. Like with the like, I felt like in the comic, and I actually started to reread the comic from the beginning, but I'm not caught up to where we are right now. He gets forgiven pretty quickly in the sense of like they forgive him for like Debbie forgives him, and all these people kind of forgive him for what happened. He's never allowed back to Earth. He lives on like the moon base and all this other stuff. But spoilers for people who haven't read the comic. We did this last time too, didn't we?
yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
You have to know that this is like Chris's favorite comic book next to Spider-Man.
this
And
comic book wise, this may be my favorite
yeah,
comic
yeah.
of
I
all
only say
time.
Spider-Man because you know so much about
I know.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
like I only say it's like probably neck and neck with your favorite comic book. So just know he will not say spoiler warnings. He will just let
just
everything out
go,
that he just
go.
lets
And
it
I
out.
can
So
remember.
no.
And this is the thing. I have three. You can call them graphic novels or comic books that I can always go back to. I go back to Spider Man a lot from the beginning, like
Yep.
the actual beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it as juicy as maybe some of the newer ones are? No. Is it a little corny? Yes. Like they are very corny,
Yeah.
but I like them. They're like a comfort zone. Invincible, I can always go back to because the story is just really, really good. Scott Pilgrim, I probably reread Scott Pilgrim once a year.
Yeah.
I love the books of Scott Pilgrim. The movie's great. I enjoy the movie as well. The comics are a different, or I shouldn't say the comics because it's a graphic novel, right? But that novel is just so much different than like even the movie is. Like the actual tone of it is just so much different.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that are word for word, bar for bar,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also a lot of things that aren't at all.
Yeah.
And there's just so much more to that story. I love it. And I like Kick Ass a lot too. This
Yeah.
is the first
Kick-Ass
the
is
comics
great.
are really good.
Yeah, the comics are really good. I read Kick-Ass before the movie came out, and then it took me a
Yeah.
really long time to go see the movie. I don't know why, but I
First one's
think
really
it was
good.
already on streaming, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, finally, I get to watch it," and it
Yeah, the
was
first one's really
really,
good.
really good.
The second one, they didn't juggle it correctly. I don't
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
But
The
this is
second one,
not a kick-ass one. We don't have to go too deep into
yeah,
that. But go ahead. You could say your point on it.
yeah. I think it's one of those where they kind of had a very Kick-Ass. The first movie did really, really well in the box office for a non-known comic book graphic novel movie. And then they were like, "Oh, people really, really like this. Let's throw a second one in there," and
Yeah.
it felt rushed. And
I thought I see. I think it was different. I think the first one was really successful. The comic was already kind of successful as
Mhm.
a was it independent? It's Dark Horse, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
It's Dark Horse. The first one was very successful. So they were like, let's go. They greenlit the second one because there's already a second story.
yep.
But they didn't really follow the second story as much as they did. Like that first movie is the key points are made from the
Oh yeah, yeah.
comic.
The source material really flourished in a
It was
very
very
movie
big.
like way, and
The
it
second one didn't do it as much, if I
no.
remember correctly. But the third one, I wish they did because the third comic is really good.
Yeah, yeah,
It gets a little like high in the sky.
yeah,
The
yeah.
reason I like Kick Ass to begin with, there's one line that I just love from Kick Ass, and it's right in the beginning. And he's like, I'm not the popular kid. I'm not the jock. I'm not the nerd. I am just here. I am just the average high school student.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like I played sports and stuff. I was never like the best. I was never the jock, but I
Yep.
also wasn't really like the nerd. I
Same.
wasn't like the cool kid. I was nothing. I was just like
Here.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
just
I
here.
think a lot of people could relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more relatable than any of those other tropes.
Yeah.
Even.
Oh, yeah.
Like it really is. So that's what like hooked me in the beginning to the comic. And the comic's just really good. It's funny. It's good.
Yeah, it's entertaining. But
It's entertaining.
But I
anyway,
think
back to Invincible.
yeah, I think with Invincible, they're doing a good job, and we got thrown an episode, I believe it was episode 3, which is or no, episode 4, which is
The
her,
Underworld.
and it
Yeah,
went to
the
the
Underworld.
underworld, and that is not explored in the comics. This was a completely different. This was a completely original story by the creators, and it did get low ratings
By
on
the
things.
creators, by the way, Robert Kirkman, who also created the comic.
Yeah,
because that's who that episode was written by.
yeah.
That's why I'm
And
making the
so
joke.
and it got like I saw it got like low ratings by like critics and stuff like that, but I really enjoyed it. I
I
liked
did too.
it.
I thought it was good.
I liked it, one, because it was cool to go into the underworld. I loved how they did what's his name? Dark something?
Which one?
The devil.
Damien Darkblood?
Damien Darkblood. Yeah. I liked how they did him. He had a little more comedic drawn to him
Yeah.
being down
Dry
there.
humor on him. Dry
Yeah.
humor on him. Yeah, for
And
sure.
so, which was a lot of fun. And like what my favorite part of that episode is when they're falling down the pit and Mark can't get over that he has to undo and redo his helmet every time he wants to talk. And
Yeah.
that I was laughing at. But also it was a great evolution of Mark, who right now is battling the demon in himself that doesn't want to kill but wants to kill. Like he has that Viltrumite part of him that if he needs to solve a problem, he needs to kill. Like
Yeah.
that's him, and he's still battling with that. And I felt like this story really helped his character. It really helped like him understand what he really needs to do. And of course, he like at the end of that episode, he gets rid of the blue and black suit and he goes back to the original suit and he feels a
About
little better
time.
about himself. Yeah. And it was like, all right, yeah, we're seeing Mark grow. We're seeing him be the hero he wants to be and kind of getting over that. I won't say childish or immature thinking, but that thinking of, all right, I'm in a world where I may need to solve problems with putting my fist through someone's face. Like I may need to do that. And that's okay. We're not in the MCU or the DC where killing's not allowed. We're in the Invincible universe where killing as a hero, it's not the first thing you want to do, but it is an option in this universe. So
Yeah.
he needs to get over that. And so that's why I really like this episode. And
I like that too. I like that as well. I thought they not to have after school story kind of thing, but I kind of wish there was more of a lesson given to Mark in that moment. And
mhm,
that might be where the critics really hit. It's like this was a really good opportunity to not only have the whole situation, and it doesn't have to be like this is why you have to do this. That's what I mean by that, like an after school special type thing. But when he still is clearly fumbling in his mind with everything in a very deep way, where coming out of it, at least a little bit of him, you would hope would be like sometimes you have to do this to do this. But even later on,
yeah.
when he's has to kill again, you could tell it's still affecting him in the same way, almost like that moment didn't actually land as much as you would have hoped.
Yeah.
That probably is where I would see the critics saying like, yeah, the episode was okay, because if that doesn't help him grip with anything, then what was the point of everything that happened other than to set up something later in the future kind of thing?
Right. So, but no, Mark's on a good path. Alan the Alien has been amazing in this series so far. Having him
Yes.
back, and he's been really good. I think the funniest is when him and what do you call it? Omni-Man are flying in that in the ship, and they're going to collect all the things Omni-Man says that could kill Viltrumites, and he's just going to town with his girlfriend every night.
Time. Actually, I think that was directly from the comics.
Yeah,
as
that
well,
is
if I
directly
remember
from the
right. Yeah.
comics. Yeah, and
But
it's
like the scene. Like obviously the noises aren't, but like the scene of him having, I think it like multiple times. I'm pretty sure that's directly from the comics.
yeah. So I absolutely love that. I love that part of him, and the him and oh, who plays the new hero that we just met, that they changed from a male to a female.
Tech Jacket.
Tech Jacket.
Yeah,
That I think was a cool idea. I think
it was good too.
I think it works really well.
He treats it more like a daughter, like
Yeah.
than just another hero.
Yeah.
That being Alan, of course.
Yeah. And then when they're together and they're stuck hiding on the Viltrumite ship and they're just playing video games and they're both children and they're like, we can wait. We can wait. We can wait a little bit longer. We just need to beat this level. We're not going to get there right now.
Yeah. That was good. And at the end, they're like, yeah, no, we got to be responsible.
Yeah, we got to be responsible. We got to go help everybody.
Millions of people will die.
Yeah.
No, but I thought that was a good character change as well. I don't think when you do a character change like that for a background character or a side character or whatever you want to call it, and it doesn't affect the story significantly, I'm totally okay with it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't like when they make that change and that change completely changes the character.
Right.
I
It
think
changes
this
the
change,
history and the
yeah, I think this
everything
change
with it.
didn't completely change anything, and also it changed it kind of for the better, right? Like, it wasn't that big of a change, it wasn't that bad of a change, and it's been entertaining. So like, I'm cool with that one. I'm cool with that one. I thought their relationship now that they got to create was much better, and you have to do things differently because with the comics, all those side heroes had their own comics,
Yeah.
and they're not going to do that. Like, maybe that's what they're hoping for in the future. Like, maybe Tech Jacket gets their own series or their own spinoff or whatever. I'm sure they're hoping for all that, but at the end of the day, that's just not going to happen. You can't build the show that way. So you
Yeah.
have to try to build it in different ways. The way Tech Jacket was before, like, how do you have him? How do you have Tech Jacket and Alan somewhere isolated where they can become friends that they can bond over? And I think having it as just a guy in a suit, they wouldn't really be able to find as much because you have to change the story a little bit there.
Yeah.
So having it as whatever she is, was she like a 16-year-old girl or
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah. Yeah. She's really young and
Yeah,
she's a
that makes
teenager.
she's a
She's
teenager, and it makes more sense to have it that way. Now it's more of a father-daughter thing than it
yeah.
is like two heroes fighting.
Yeah.
And you see that in the fighting scenes as well when they attack and she's about to die a couple times and Alan comes to save because it's the father-daughter
Yeah.
relationship. You could just see like he gets stronger because he knows he has to protect her.
Yeah. And I think that's a good segue of to the first battle with the Viltrumites and fucking Conquest comes back. That fucking
Yes.
piece of shit. That I've now hated Conquest even more, I think, because we gave him a voice and just the way that he is. I mean, it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan who voices him. A perfect casting for the voice
Yeah,
of
the casting of the show is fantastic,
yeah,
by the way.
and we'll go into Thragg in a minute, but I will say that I fucking hate Conquest and just the smug grin he has, and his just the we'll go into the scene where him and Invincible finally go at it for the last time.
Yeah.
Just it is brutal. It is. You're like, I really fucking hope this guy dies again. Like, I just need him to die. And it's like he just keeps coming back. And that's what I think makes him such a great character. He's he's that epitome of like, I hate you.
Not to continue to compare things to the comics, but that where he kills Conquest, or Invincible kills Conquest, and he rips his organs out.
Yeah. That happens.
Again, directly from the comics, and the
and I
same
like
thing,
how they
get
did
stuck on there for months.
the time they did, like the time jump between Invincible healing and
Yeah.
Omni-Man and his youngest son get a time to bond.
Oliver
get time to bond. I really, really like that. I like at the end of that episode. It was the last episode we just watched where the after credit scene was the grave of Conquest, and they just showed it, and I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me! If this dude pops out of the ground,
no, he's gone,
and then he's gone, and then they just cut it." I was like, "Those bastards," because you never know when they're gonna go off script a little bit.
That. Yeah, but you're also expecting that. Like, you're expecting, oh, he's gonna come back again, especially if you haven't read the comics, right? And he's gonna come back again. He's like,
gonna come back again. That piece of shit. Oh my god,
he's gone for good.
He's out. Now, Thragg, the ultimate being that Thragg is, and we really haven't seen him be the person he is in the comics yet.
No, we have not. He hasn't even done any fighting.
He hasn't done any fighting, but he's voiced by Lee Pace.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was perfect. That is a perfect. I don't know if anybody has seen Lee Pace in anything, but he is this. And I'm sure like in real life, he's the nicest person, but like the scenes and shows I've seen him in, he is this massive presence. He is this, but he is so withdrawn. Like he is this quiet, strong person in all of his things. Like he is like this force of nature that just kind of sits in the background in a lot of the things I've seen him in. And then when he does turn it up, he is a animal. And that's why I'm so excited for him to play Thragg. And we're seeing Thragg, you know, he carries around the skull of the old Viltrum Empire's emperor. And you can see that he has this, like, I don't know what to call it. Like, he has this obsession with that skull.
Yeah.
And that it's like, you ever meet a villain that has an obsession like that, they are bad news. They are not someone to fuck with.
Yeah, they're not going to stop for anything.
Yeah. That's what I'm so excited. And I love that it's a slow burn. Like, what we've seen Thragg maybe 3 or 4 times before this.
Yeah, not many.
And it's always been this quiet, anonymous figure that just sits there. And even when he's more on screen, he's been more on screen so far this season, he is still that figure. Like, we still don't know what he's really like. So I'm very excited to see what's next for Thragg coming out, because again, we just watched them fail at trying to take over or to hit the heart of the unified planets, and they failed at that. And now he's waiting for them all to be called back, and now the unified planets have to get their shit together to go and try to stop them before all the rest of the Viltrumites come back to the planet.
And we see the traitor in the last episode. We'll just call it episode 6. It's called "You Look Horrible."
Yeah.
I'm not going to continue to say "You look horrible" because I think you look great.
Thank you.
But episode 6, we saw the traitor. Now, you said you watched that video. I don't remember if it's the same traitor from the comics. There was a traitor. I do remember that.
Yeah, it was the same traitor, but they're kind of illustrated differently.
They're just illustrated different. So,
yeah.
But it was the same
yeah, it was someone. It was in the comics. It was someone who is in charge of the defense of the planet. Mm-hmm. That has been working for them for a while. Yeah. And this is when it pretty much was like scene for scene how he disabled all the planetary defenses and let them come in. More conversation in that in the comic, obviously, like he's talking with his connect to the he's talking to a Viltrumite, and they tell him, drop it now or we're going to come down and murder you on our own, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he does it.
So that's why he does that. So there are 2 more episodes of Invincible left. And then it's the end of season 4. I said to you in a text, what happened to the 22-minute season? If this was 25, 22-minute episodes, would we be upset? I don't mind it. Let me say this. I don't mind it being, an hour long or whatever. But would we be upset if it was like, instead of it being 8 4-hour episode or 8 1-hour episodes, if it was 20 to 25, 22-minute episodes? How would we be upset?
I don't think I would be upset too much, but like, these episodes have been so good so far. Like, I guess we're at this point of the story where I want more. So yes, I would be sort of upset if it was cut down. Not to say, I think we were talking about Daredevil more. Yeah. Now, Daredevil...
that's actually what I was talking about.
Yeah, and I think Daredevil, yes, if it wasn't an hour, I wouldn't be upset. Invincible, we're at a certain point in Invincible that I need more. Like, I want them to be releasing 2 episodes a week kind of thing.
If they did 22-minute episodes, but did 2 a week... So you watch the first episode Tuesday, second episode Thursday.
Yeah, I would like that. I wouldn't be mad at that.
I think I would too. I think more episodes is better too, because at the end of the day, you're going to have 25, which is actually more time than the 8-hour-long episodes or 10 or whatever.
You'd be getting more text from me saying, yo, you got to watch this episode so we can talk about it.
22 minutes I could do.
Yeah.
I could do that. I'll do it while I'm getting ready in the morning. That's why I wish they were 22 minutes. That's why that's why I can keep up with Scrubs, by the way.
Yeah,
22 minutes. We're in and we're out.
We're in and we're out. We're good.
We're in and we're out. Also great series. But another great series that started up again is The Boys. We got the first 2 episodes on Wednesday. And You sent over a 40-ish minute video. I watched the entire thing,
Yep.
recapping, and then we go into the first episode, and they're at the internment camp or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember how they got there. Like, I don't remember how the three main characters got there because it wasn't in the video.
Oh, well, yeah, that happened at the end of last season.
I know. I didn't watch the recap because, full transparency, I don't want to watch an ad every 10 minutes on Amazon. So
True.
if you download it, it doesn't do ads. So if you just download to your phone, you can watch it without ads. So I downloaded it, but the problem when you download it is you don't get the recap.
Okay.
So I didn't watch the recap. So I watched the whole thing. I was all caught up. Like, oh, I remember this. I remember this. Yes. This is great. The video was amazing. And then, when I get right in the beginning, there at this internment camp, I was like, when the hell did this happen? I remember everything else.
Yep.
I don't remember when this happened. I want to say, give me 1 second.
What do you want to say?
Video was by Screen Crush. Shout out Screen Crush because we watched the Screen Crush video to catch up on this.
So Screen Crush is great. You guys should look at that if you want to recap on things. You want a little deeper dive into an episode. They do a good job. So shout out.
If you listen to us, you can go to them. But especially if you're trying to catch up on the first 4
really seasons. Catch up on anything. Like, they do a really good job for all different types of shows. And so, yeah, if you want to catch up, just go to them.
They need our shout out too. They only have a couple million subscribers. So they definitely need our 10 subscribers. Anyway.
Yeah, but what I want to say is, so the first 2 episodes are like every Boys episode. Absolute batshit crazy.
Very crazy.
Just batshit. My biggest thing was they finally killed the soup, quote unquote soup, who's pretty much playing guard in the internment camp, and he has the penis, the long ass penis.
They got rid of that guy.
Finally, MM kills him, and and MM wanted to kill him so badly.
Yes,
so badly.
That happened in the second episode there.
Finally,
my biggest thing. Please feel free to go against this if you don't agree. The Huey and Starlight characters, it feels like they're trying to force that chemistry. I understand there's like a rift between them, but even when like they're not having the rift, like when they bang it out in that one scene, it just doesn't feel it. And I don't know if they're supposed to be doing that or not, but it just feels like those two they're not even the characters. The 2 actors are like forcing them together in those scenes, but then at the same time they're also trying to force them apart by how she is going very far right and he's going very far left. But that was one thing I noticed. I don't remember it from any other season,
so I
definitely remember for that one.
I feel like that is only I agree with you that
it doesn't feel like an intentional right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like it's written that way.
Yeah, and so, but I think it's hard now with Kimiko and Frenchie reuniting, and they're like a perfect couple now. Yeah. And then we used to have Starlight.
It doesn't feel like that awkwardness though. Like, that's a great point. But like, you feel like there's like maybe some awkwardness, or like we have to try harder. But that's not what it feels like. It literally feels like the chemistry between those 2 people is just not there.
Yeah,
and they're trying to make chemistry there. But that it doesn't matter because it honestly did not affect not yet at least, didn't affect anything so far. Like the first episode, and then this is the other thing. More than that, that didn't really bother me, honestly, because that happens all the time, and I'm sure it'll be fine at the end of the season. The thing that really just bothered me is they showed the Flight 37 at the very beginning of episode 1, which was awesome. Like, they started really, really strong with that, right?
Yeah.
Like, the Flight 37 is right at the beginning during a Homelander rally, and then they just go like, it was AI, and I'm like, that's such a lazy writing. Like, there's so many different ways they could have tried to write themselves out of it.
Yeah, I think
it's AI, and then they never really go. I mean, sure, they're going to go back to it later, but like, I get they're trying to be like present and now. And
yeah, that's what I think. That's what the hard line is that they are taking a lot of material from what's going on in our world right now and making it, and it's very easy to do that in our world right now. Like, it is super easy. And the whole propaganda of AI, and they did that at the shareholders meeting, the vault shareholders meeting and everything. And
it was like the shareholders rally.
Shareholder rally
were there.
My gripe with that is like, we already know Homelander's in control of everything now. Like
Yeah.
he's in control. Why do that at a shareholders rally where
Right. Yeah.
like it's not a public rally? It's a shareholder. So like there's not anybody outside who may be on the fence about supporting Homelander and Vault and the Seven and all of that. It's people who are already ingrained into supporting Homelander and making sure that everything they can get. And it's just like, I do think it is. I don't want to call it lazy writing. I think it's writing that is staying within the times, but also that can be seen as lazy writing since we're just taking it from what's going on in the world today. But this whole season is really about how Homelander is in control of the United States. He is controlling the United States. You know,
Yeah.
they
I
they
mean, they
put they put
make
a
that
president
clear.
there that is
Yeah.
under his control. They put a vice president that's under his control. They're putting people in containment camps that are shouldn't be there. You know, like it is the whole thing that is happening in the boys is in a way happening now here in the world. So it's kind of hard not, even if they're trying to write this from the comic, it's hard not to dip into what's going on in the world. So it's kind of a double-edged sword when you're trying to write something like
Yeah.
this. And
Yeah.
the whole
They're
show was leading to this already.
yeah. Yeah. And they're really they're pushing that how much it mirrors what's going on currently, and they're
Well, I
just
mean,
trying to stay current with
if
it.
we just jump to the second episode, we find out about the kicks, the cool kicks.
Teenage kicks.
Yeah, the teenage kicks, and they're pretty much superheroes, social media influencers. They're not
Yeah.
saving
That's
anybody.
what they are. That's
Yeah,
exactly what
they're
they
not
are.
saving anybody. They're just doing ads. They're just promoting shit for people to buy. They're not
Yeah.
going out and saving people. And then the only time they do go out is to round up people for the containment camps. So like it's like, all right, yeah, this is getting pretty bad. This world is at its lowest point right now.
Yeah. They even have one person in there, and they show like they're forcing them to be influencers basically in that house. And that episode was really good. The introduction of the virus
Yeah,
was really good.
was really good.
I do wish that A Train kind of like it's one of those things that happens in shows like this and movies like this where like he finally turns and then
And then
dies.
dies. Yeah.
And it's like, I get it, but at the same time, did he really have to die immediately after coming to terms with what he has to do? Like,
Oh yeah. And it's but I think it's also because we see in the second episode, like this is breaking Homelander's psyche even
yeah,
more. Like and I was a little surprised by that. Like I know he's crazy. We know he's now fully insane and he's been insane, but to have a character that is that insane break down over someone that he was hunting already and like he wanted to kill is like, okay, this is more like we're gonna kill off A Train, but for Homelander's story because he is losing his
his
mind
mind. Yeah.
slowly. And Anthony Starr is amazing. He is such a good Homelander. Like he is so good.
Well,
And
there was a story, I think it was like season 2, where he was like in a bar and got to a huge brawl and just kicked the shit out of
yeah,
everybody.
he did. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of like Homelander in real life, too.
Yeah. Like I've only heard that outside of like I've never heard him like how he is as a
Yeah,
person.
I've
Like
never heard anything. I don't even know if that's a true story. I'll say it
it
like
is a
that.
true
But
story.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say I don't even know if it's true, but
Yeah, he
that's the
got
only
into
thing I've
a
heard
bar
outside of it.
fight. And but he did say in an interview that like he was on vacation somewhere and people came up to him. They're like, "Oh my God, we love Homelander. We love Homelander." And he's like, "Why do you love
Why do you
Homelander?
love him?
You
Yeah,
should
he's
not
awful.
love Homelander. Do not love Homelander." And
Uh-oh.
it's like, okay, so he's a little more sane than Homelander is.
Yeah, that's good. He understands that his character's not to be loved, which
Yeah,
is good.
you should not follow Homelander. But Homelander resurrecting Soldier Boy was really, really interesting. And
Yeah,
I see why he did it, because he feels like he's going crazy, so he doesn't feel like he can trust anybody, because he has this part of his psyche is like, I want everybody to love me, but I want to rule everybody. But like
yeah,
everybody, and we see it in the 2 episodes where like he's asking people, why is your heart beating so fast? Why are you so scared of me? Like, and it's just like he's not realizing what he's doing is terrifying to everybody who's not a superhero. And even if
yeah.
you are a superhero, you're terrified of him. So it's like that is entertaining to watch, and watching him slowly lose his mind. But I knew that this virus wasn't going to kill Soldier Boy.
Well, then you mean the virus that he just got?
Yeah, I
Did it
knew it
show
wasn't going
him?
to kill him.
Did it show him being back alive? I didn't
Yeah,
even
he
see
was in
him
the
being
body
back
bag
alive.
and he sat up.
Oh, I didn't even. I must just completely miss that part.
Yeah, that was the it
I
was
just
the
watched this too.
yeah,
Like
it was the
right
last
before
scene of the
this.
show.
Well, yeah, he can't kill him off that quickly after bringing him back, right?
Well,
Like
that
he has
was
to
my
move around.
thinking in this. Like, this virus just killed off a couple heroes, but I think that they're like, he has the drug that makes him a hero. What is it called?
Compound V.
Compound V. They have the newer Compound V in them, that I feel like that's what
Mm.
the new virus is going after. He's from way back, way
Yeah,
back.
he's
He
like
has
one of the originals.
he has one of the original Compound V's in his body. Also, he's a nuclear bomb. So the nuclear part of his body, and having such an old drug in him, I don't think that the virus was going to really do anything to him. I couldn't see them just bringing him back second episode and then killing him off. That was not going to
Would
happen.
make no sense. It would make absolutely no
No.
sense to kill him and then or bring him back, then immediately take him out. But it does make sense. Like I was saying, how A-Train, I wish that he didn't die immediately. This is the last season, and
Yeah.
there's only 8 episodes, so like he's not gonna last to the end of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's obviously gonna go. His
Well,
character has
now
to
it
go.
sets up a really good conversation, or just a really good story arc for him, where he's alive. Homelander didn't tell him that he was going to go up against a drug that kills superheroes.
Yeah.
And Homelander made the stupid decision not to tell him that and just send him off. And now what does he do? He can't trust Butcher. He can't trust Homelander. What is this guy going to do? He's a rogue agent now in this
Yeah.
world. And
Yeah.
he's definitely not going to want a virus out there, but he's definitely not going to want Homelander ruling America. And so what does Homelander do? We saw that like I thought it was hilarious when the teenage kick was like, aren't you a socialist, or aren't you a commie? And he punches him in the face.
Yeah.
So does Homelander go, oh, he's a rogue agent now? If you ever see him, please let me know, kind of thing? Like he is
Yeah.
still a communist?
He might do that, right? Because that's gonna make him even madder. But it's going to be interesting to see how they go. It's very weird. 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8 do not have titles.
Yeah, no, they
But
haven't.
episode 5 has an episode. It does have a title called One Shots. Very strange that only episode 5 does. I guess that is the midway point ish,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't really help us with anything. But no other titles yet, no other anything like that. First 2 episodes were good though. Recommend going and checking that out if
Yep.
you haven't already. And we'll probably do like a midway and then maybe an end of series.
We definitely have to do an end up series and
recap.
we'll try to, because I know I read the comic, so I'm gonna reread the comic before this ends. And my only thing in this is what happens in the comics with Black Noir. And it looked like they took that away because Homelander kills him and then they get an actor in his stead.
Yeah.
But the first 2 episodes, Noir doesn't speak anymore. Last season, that actor who played Noir, but the actor playing the actor Noir, didn't know how to shut up. And
so who is it now?
Now he has not said one word. He has not even uttered anything. And, you know, the Deep has noticed it. He's like, he's not even talking. He's doing this meta thing where he's just not saying anything. He's just totally in character the whole time. And it's like, okay, now are they got back on track on how the original comic ends? So this will be very, very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to follow along with, but we will keep along with it. I'm going to keep caught up. Now that I'm caught up on just about everything, I could stay caught up on just about everything. But
Good.
we'll do a halfway point, and then we'll do the end of the series. We'll dedicate a full episode to that to talk fully about the end of The Boys, which ends May 20th. So in about a little over a month, that series will be over, which is crazy to think of. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. This is Sketching Up Podcast on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, what else? iHeartRadio. Trying to think off the top of my head. Good Pods, all that fun stuff. Go subscribe to us, give us 5 stars, leave a comment. Everything that you guys do really helps this podcast at the end of the day. Make sure you follow Mad Props as well. Had an episode out last Monday, I should say, about my experience in Orlando, which has always been great because I've just been sick ever since. So it's been a great time. But it was a good time. So the whole experience there, you can go check out. Make sure you follow us on social media at Sketching Up Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to see all the clips. Matt's been pulling out the clips. So if you want to see clips from the show, go check them out on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok as well. You can also see them on Facebook, but I don't think, unless it goes straight from Instagram, probably haven't updated that.
I have to look at that.
We'll have to go take a look. Make sure you follow The Boys because we're going to be talking about it more. Make sure you follow Invincible because we're going to be talking about that more. I'm going to reread Invincible. You're going to reread The Boys.
And you need to catch up on Daredevil.
I'll catch up on Daredevil as well. I got to start Daredevil.
Well, it seems like you can take a sick day. You should take a sick day.
Yeah. Well, I got a weekend coming up.
There you go.
So maybe we'll do it then. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. This has been Sketching Up. We will see you next week. Same time, same place. See you later. Peace out.
Peace.